Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be giving the valedictorian speech of the class of 2018. I would like to start by thanking everyone who made this possible. The teachers who stayed late grading papers, the parents who acted as taxi drivers and superfans for our students, and the administrators who kept the teen daycare running up to code. Writing this was not an easy task. I had a hard time trying to find the best representation of the class of 2018. After all, I only had my experiences. However, high school is not about encompassing niche-specific events and activities and awards, rather the joint experiences we all shared. I remember walking into high school on a hot day in August. The high school looked much different. We walked into a big open area with felt benches and tables and a large alien ship-looking room. Nervous to find classes and not to be late, you kept your head down and your hopes high. Over the course of freshman year, we learned many things. Keep organized, get involved, and never be seen with a phone in Mr. Setzler's class. We learned to look up to people, the outgoing seniors, as role models for something we would become someday. Sophomore year was enlightening as well. With more experience comes more knowledge, and not just about the major battles of the Civil War or solving quadratic equations by grouping. We learned about working together, developing ourselves. We started to become individuals and not just a class with a year attached to it. Junior year was just fun. It was the perks of being an upperclassman, but none of the stress about college or applications or interviews. You could start to get somewhere in the club, be on the varsity team, get a lead role, be on the board. Junior year started to give us a garden on which we started to bear the fruits from the past 3 years. Senior year was the year of being nostalgic. With senior nights, homecoming, prom, it's hard not to look back at the past 4 years and get a bit choked up. Spending around 5,600 hours in a prison-looking building will do that to you. We started to plan, to put our dreams into action. Applying somewhere gave us a rush because of the promise of a bright future. Never let that vision die. Your future is bright. It's full of joy and love. Do not mistake me, though, and think that life will be just happiness and laughter. As we learned in high school, rejection, loneliness, and tears are also part of life. But we were given the tools to fight back and come up swinging. The world was easier when we were young. Memories seemed fonder, love seemed easier, and our dreams seemed infinite. We were so hopeful, and as we grew older, we were introduced to reality. A broken bone that kept us from playing the season crushed us. A lost voice before a show was devastating. But we learned to get back up. Our teachers taught us to be strong. And the world is an intimidating place. The unknown can be scary compared to the security of Johnsburg. It can seem to push you down and not let you return. However, it doesn't have to be so frightening. If you lift your head up, you can see that the world is full of opportunities for you to take advantage of. Our teachers always told us to shoot for the moon, and that's true. But just because you landed among the stars does not make you less of a person. Seeking perfection is an easy way to be let down. Vladimir Horowitz once said, "Perfection itself is imperfection." As you look closer at the seemingly perfect, you discover cracks and holes. So dream big, but don't be happy only when you've completed your dream perfectly, because you will never be happy. Instead, be happy working towards the dream and seek joy when you've made it, imperfections and all. Relish in the hardships, roadblocks, and trials. That is the beauty of life. Our lives may not meet again after this. Those of you who don't talk to me on a weekly basis most likely will not see me again. Some of you are happy at that. You don't have to see someone you don't like or who doesn't like you, but one thing that connects us is this building. It became many different things for all of us: a second home, an arena, a performing arts center. But the one thing we have in common is that it is ours. We have taken our home, our arena, our performing arts center, and have created something beautiful with it. And it wasn't because of the building itself, but because of who we are. So as we venture out into the world, let us never forget what we learned, what we can do, and most importantly, who we are. Thank you.
Our next speaker of the evening is our class president, Jim Myers. So Jim, make your way to the stage while I say some nice things about you. Jim's been active in so many things at JHS, but I wanted to mention one designation that he's had that nobody else at Johnsburg has ever done. He was chosen not only to represent JHS, but the state of Illinois as only one of 7 students chosen in the nation to be on the Student Advisory Committee for the National Association of the Secondary School Principals that met in Washington, D.C. on a regular basis to not only advocate with legislators, but also help craft what things could be better with education. So he will be attending Embry-Riddle in Florida in the fall. So please help me welcome our class president, Mr. Jim Myers.
Good evening. Thank you all for making it out this evening to celebrate the accomplishments of the 2018 Johnsburg class. I'd like to take a moment to honor those that can't be with us today because they are actively serving in our armed forces, and to anyone in emergency services or law enforcement who also work to protect us. Evenings like these are the ones they miss so we can safely enjoy them. Instead of dragging on with many thank yous, I want to give one big one. To all teachers, administrators, custodians, coaches, advisors, counselors, staff, and to anyone who has helped this class, thank you. You've made a bigger impact on us than you may know. Your wisdom and guidance is greatly appreciated. Parents, as you know, raising a kid is no easy task. We sometimes think we know better, we argue, eat a lot of food, and we're expensive. But you've raised some incredible people. In this class, we've got them all. Excellent athletes, actors and actresses, scholars, artists, technicians, leaders, and simply outstanding individuals. We have some who dominate the classroom, the field, the gym, the stage, the auto shop, and the tech campus. Parents, you should be very proud of the work you've done to get your child to this point, or as in the case of my family, children, to this point, graduating. I would like to give an extra thank you to my parents, in particular, for the stamina I knew it took to get all 4 of us to this point here tonight. To my fellow seniors, it's been a downright pleasure to serve you for the past 4 years as president. This is the only time you'll hear me say, I hate term limits. Chin Chin, Jake, and Megan, thank you for serving alongside me. The job always got done with you 3. Some of you seniors may have asked yourself, what just happened? Or what's next? Our time here hasn't been just about passing classes and getting good grades, but more about developing our character and discovering who we are as individuals. From my time here, I have learned many things, but these 3 have stuck out to me most. 1, perspective is everything. 2, time is precious. 3, life is what you make of it. If you think about it, the past 4 years have been a perfect test for our close future. During high school, we were constantly presented with opportunities, and for each, we had to make a choice to take it or let it slide by. Maybe you wished you would have joined a club, taken a class, or did something differently. If you did let an opportunity slide past, you shouldn't be upset. Consider it a learning experience, and next time, just go for it. You also had to learn how to interact with others and deal with obstacles that were thrown in your way. It wasn't easy, but help was never far away. Look around you. We all have different passions and interests, but we've been required to come to the same place at the same time for 4 years. This scenario will happen to you many more times in life. I recommend that you embrace it because once it's over is when you will truly appreciate the time you had. Know that to grow, you must be stretched, and it isn't always comfortable. Put yourself out there, try new things, and you will be amazed by how much you learn, have fun, and grow. As I mentioned earlier, we have a variety of leaders in our class. You don't have to lead a group, but I encourage you to at least lead yourself. Be ambitious, If you want something, you have the ability to get it. However, it's up to you to put in the work and make it happen. Guys, this world is ours. Eagerly take up opportunity, work hard, and be good to others. In Johnsburg, we are all pretty close, and that is what I love about living here. But outside of Johnsburg, it isn't often this way. The world is kind of a mess right now. This town is humble and proud. The world seems to lack these characteristics. Whether you are staying here or going away, I hope you bring that Skyhawk pride with you. Guys, we've done it all. The standardized tests, the tough classes, applying for jobs into colleges, and even pacer in gym class. We've grown together, taken care of each other, and have become the young adults we are today. Fellow seniors, I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for everything.
I love to see his glowing and glimmering as I'm looking out there.
Before I do my closing argument, I hereby feel that this class should graduate, yes. I promise we'll get done soon, I really do. And I'll try to keep it focused. But before I do, I just want to, again, thank the speakers from the senior class that came up. Every year, I've been doing this for a while, I just continue to be so impressed with what they say and the message they have. So, and they even knew that it wasn't a trial and they knew it was a graduation versus me. So please join me in a nice round of applause for our speakers tonight. And I had a speech prepared, and as I was listening to Jim talk, I think I'm gonna shift gears just a minute just to focus on something that he said that I think makes a lot of sense with our senior class, and that is, you know, he talked about how the world is a mess right now, and I know that our senior class has had quite a bit of things that they've had to encounter and endure that maybe back in 1987 when I graduated high school we didn't necessarily have to worry about. You know, I was looking at some old objects as I was going through some items that my wife's been asking me to clean out for a long time. And back in 1987, some of the main problems we had were, you know, how long do you grow your mullet, that type of thing. When you have your Walkman, do you have a tape and the really cool AM, FM scenario? Or if you had that special girl that you really liked, you could make that special mixtape. And then write all the cool songs on a really little itty bitty card. Hey girl. And a real problem also is what to do when the tape would go googly, and then you realized if you got a pencil and shoved it in there, life was good. I guess my point is that the problems that our senior class has had to process and encounter have been a lot more serious than maybe what we had to think about back in 1987. And I know when you look at some of the things on social media and things like that, they talk about, oh, the millennials, they're bad, they'd rather take pictures of food than work an honest day's work. And I look at our senior class, and I think if that author would come to Johnsburg High School, they'd have to change their story. Because I'm very biased when it comes to the senior class. And I firmly believe that we are on the verge of seeing some major improvements in the world, and you're gonna see these guys doing it. And it's gonna be in a variety of different areas. And so I'm just very blessed to spend their attention. So as we